And we are live. Welcome to Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnNetSwing. Joining me today, I've got a co-host and a guest. Why don't you two introduce yourselves?
What's going on? My name is Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is with 2 O's. And we have a very special guest that I have been trying to get on this fucking podcast for years. The first time he ghosted me. The second time he got the time fucked up. So after that, Mac was like, all right, we're not inviting this person back, but we have to invite this person back because he's my boyfriend.
Steve
Go ahead and
Kime,
introduce
ladies and gentlemen.
Fuck no, introduce yourself.
I was gonna say you just gotta keep them on the line just a little bit. My name's Colby. I am on Twitter from the Nest AZ. Also, I'm a personal there, and you can always find me in the group chats with these two arguing about our wonderful football team.
We're not winning another game, folks. It's over. 0-16. Here we come.
Yeah, we should have never have believed in this fucking team from the get-go, especially when Will was optimistic that we were going to win. So kudos to you, Will. You fucked us yet again.
See, no, I did not fuck us. We were up 17-3. We fucked us. The Cardinals fucked us.
Yeah, no, let's just get into it. Everybody wants to blame this, that, or the other. I feel like it was on the fucking play calling at the end of the game, the 2-minute drill that we couldn't fucking execute.
The fucking stretches we ran with James Conner, one of the slowest backs in the league.
It's not just that. It's that we ran the same, run play that they knew it was coming, and they adjusted to it in the second half. You know, if we're going to run the ball, we need to get a little more creative than just run to the sideline.
Yeah, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the Drew Pensing play calling was very evident and kind of not expected. I mean, the offense we hyped up in the first half, and I think it performed above expectations. And then immediately in the second half, it looked like we couldn't get out of our own way.
This is my opinion. This game, whether we like it or not, is unfortunately a mulligan. There's not much that can be gleaned from this game. There is very little we can get about how our offense works from this game because we were playing in more or less the elements. We were playing in a very windy Buffalo day. I know that's a cop-out. I know that's cheap. But, I mean, I think this week at State Farm Stadium, we will see something closer to what we can expect from our offense. I will say, for whatever reason, Vegas has us as the favorite right now. I don't get that, but we're the favorite.
It's because the Rams are down 3 or 4 offensive line. They have no.
And they also lost Puka, yeah.
I want to call him Pooker. In my head, it's always Pooker. But yes, they lost Puka Nacua and somebody else I want to say, but it doesn't matter because, like you said, Colby, it's reminiscent of that playing the Colts on Christmas Day where they're out they're pretty much their whole starting offensive line and we didn't do shit.
Yeah, not even that. Even the flashbacks of Tom Brady being suspended and us all excited, and then a young man named Jimmy Garoppolo comes in here and carves us up. You know, I'm
very
not going to put it up.
Man.
Shucks. Call me Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, no, Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, we could have won that game if not for Cameron Canaday, but that's for another day. Fucking bum.
And I guess we got to get into it. We will get it. Speaking of bum, I know what you're going to say. We'll get into that. But I just want to get out of the way. The fucking screen grab across the internet. Marv downfield wide open and Kyler doesn't see him.
It's horseshit.
But why doesn't Kyler see him? Can anybody tell you why?
He was on the run and there were 2 guys jumping in front of him.
Oh,
exactly. He was on the run and he had to reset and go the opposite way. There was already a high safety. You know, the ball takes time to get there. So for all we know, that shit could have been picked off if you try to hit Marv. But, you know, the experts, the Kurt Warners and the Dan Orlovskis of the world the professionals were kind enough to break that down for the internet. And some people, some armchair GMs and quarterbacks are still arguing that Kyler did that on purpose or Kyler's too short or, stupid narrative.
And good on Dan Orlowski too, because he did tweet about Kyler's ability to scramble and to run, and did say that he missed that. If you guys saw his top 10 quarterback ranking thing he did, where he left off Kyler as a top 10 rushing quarterback in the NFL.
But he did have some nice things to say, and it kind of sucks because Kyler did have a pretty productive day outside of like fumbling, which again our offensive line sucks. So what are you gonna do? He had a pretty good game. Like if he didn't fumble, or had we ran out of time on that last drive to end the game, and didn't win, everyone would be talking about, yeah, Kyler played a good game, but it is what it is. We lost, and then that 2-minute drill was just kind of I don't know what the fuck was that.
The big thing I take away from this game is the effects that a lack of a left tackle is going to have on this team, because the difference between what we saw in the first half and what we saw in the second half, I think, can be attributed to one thing, and that was losing our left tackle as early as
right
we
tackle.
did. Sorry, right tackle. We lost Jonah Williams pretty early on in the game, and after that, we just seemed to lose all momentum on offense. Kelvin Beachum, God love him, he used to be something. He sure as shit ain't anymore. If I had to pick somebody to replace him with at this point, because he just got on IR, he's got knee surgery, and I've had knee surgery, and that shit ain't fun. He's probably gonna be out for a while. If I had to pick somebody for us to go after, my pick, and this is unconventional because he just signed a big contract over the offseason, would be Taylor Moton.
What do you think, Colby?
I don't think you're going to see them go after any name. I don't think you'll see Monty give up the draft capital to go get someone at this time. I know they not promoted. Well, they did promote Carson Heck from the practice squad. Well, went and grabbed him, added him to the practice squad. He's got 41 games played since 2020. You look, there are 2 tackles on the practice squad right now, so you probably pull up Jackson Barton.
Sorry, what'd you say the guy's name was?
Charlie Heck was the guy we added to the practice squad. He's been in Houston for 4 years. But we already have 2 tackles on the practice squad. I think game day you'll see them elevate probably Jackson Barton. Unfortunately, you hope Jonah's maybe gone for a month, and maybe because he wasn't a starter and didn't get the reps, like some people are defending Beachum on Twitter, maybe a month as the starter he'll be not a turnstile. Maybe.
But I mean, he was a turnstile last year when he was on the field. So
correct.
I think that there's far too much leeway being given to him.
Yeah, blast him into the fucking sun. He doesn't belong on anybody's roster or even practice squad for that matter. Like, hang it the fuck up. Because that would really killed our momentum. And I feel like, on a couple plays where if Kyler just had a little more time, if the pocket didn't collapse, we might be talking about a win right now. I mean, get fucking for real. We can't play a whole season with Kelvin Beachum as our right tackle.
No, not at all. I did think, talking to my father today, a light bulb popped off. We are at home next week, and that is going to be them announcing the offense for the first time. So guess who, and I don't think this is a hot take, guess who will be booed by the home crowd when they do player introductions?
Kyler.
No, not Kyler. It will be Kelvin Beachum. Kelvin Beachum will get a noticeable boo from the home audience Sunday at State Farm Stadium.
And you better be leading the boos, because I know you'll be there.
I will be there. I will be booing.
Jackie, you lead the boos on this podcast. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah. Hey. No, but speaking of boos, we got to talk about Marv. We have to have a conversation about Marv.
He was, there was a stat I saw today for his speed. He was like one of the slowest players in the league, like in terms of like speed on the field this week.
Now, I watched the game, but I didn't get to like super pick apart everything because in between plays I'm playing with my child. So it wasn't until today that I saw that Marv wasn't moving very fast. And some people are saying, oh, he's out there jogging, this and that. I don't know what that's all about. I don't think he just isn't, he can't move fast. Who knows? But I think, and a few people have said this, but I think maybe a few snaps in preseason would have done them a little bit of good. Because these are NFL players that he's playing against. This isn't college anymore. He's got to build up that rapport with Murray. And I feel like, that's another thing too, is like if he's going through his reads, you're going to want to hit the guy that you can hit. You got your old reliable Trey McBride and Greg Dortch. And I don't think Marv is quite there yet. Obviously, it's week 1. But that drop, I could have made that catch. You could have made that catch. That drop was total. It's complete nerves. And then the first time he targeted Marv, it could have been the wind, but it almost looked like Marv didn't even know that the ball was going to be thrown to him. It was behind him. But I feel like had he kind of known that it was going to be there, he could have adjusted and caught it.
I think you see it a lot with rookie players that they always, and like the cliche thing that they always talk about is like the game is too fast for them. And once the game slows down, that's when you see those guys take off. So I attribute it more to that of you see those plays like you mentioned the drop, and it's him trying to read the zone coverage, and by the time he turns around, that ball is on him. But I do think it is a timing thing because going from Desmond Ridder and Clayton Tune to an actual NFL quarterback, there's a little more zip on Kyler Murray's football than the other two. So I think it's more of him trying to read these coverages and read these disguises. He's not playing against Rutgers anymore. He's not, no disrespect to Max Melton's alma mater. You're not playing Indiana. You're not playing Akron. You actually have NFL corners now. You're not going to run past guys. You're not going to run through guys. So I think it's a learning curve for Marvin. Once he figures out the playbook better, and like you said, Jackie has that time to mesh with Kyler. I see that. I think that's when you'll see Marv take off like we expect him to.
What you think, Will?
I think he's just going in cold. I think he needed those preseason reps. I mean, I think that having your first experience on the field be against a team of Buffalo's caliber, I poo-pooed them last week, but they went out and they showed that they belonged and they showed that they could win. So, I mean, they're doing something right.
I will say this, though, about Buffalo.
Yeah.
It was a very close game.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they let a team like us, very, very bad defense hang around, they might have some issues with the real defense.
For sure.
So I'm not completely sold. There's a lot of Josh Allen, early MVP favorite. There's two sides of Josh Allen. There's the Josh Allen that we played against where he was dynamic. He made plays on the ground. He made plays with his arm. And then there's a Josh Allen that likes to turn the ball over. So, I wouldn't crown him quite yet. This is our pass rush is non-existent. So, of course, he's going to have his way with us. But, that's one you want to steal on the road. We could have stole it on the road. Had someone told me, like, we're going to lose this game, I almost wanted it to be like, that DJ Dallas touchdown. I would have been fine without that. I would have rather been losing by a couple scores and not really had a chance to come back, just so maybe Marv can get some garbage time reps at that point.
Yeah, I think not much can be gleaned from this, and I think that the real first taste of action from this team, is going to be this week. This week will be our benchmark.
I just want to get in the comments real quick. Not that there's a lot of people in the comments, but Nick L says, I'm a Murray fan, but I'm having doubts. He is the future. It's year 2 of a different scheme. I don't doubt it because there is a lot of bad quarterback plays going on, week 1. The Bears and the Steelers did not have any offensive touchdowns.
Oh.
Daniel Jones sucks. Deshaun Watson sucks.
Can I say something?
Yes.
This is the second time that the Bears have scored 24 points in a game without scoring any offensive touchdowns. That is all.
You know, we're not winning pretty games, but when we were winning, but you know, I feel like we're in a lot better shape than a lot of teams, so it could be a lot worse. I'm good with where we're at as far as quarterback. With the play calling, with their offensive coordinator, I feel like there needs to be a lot of emphasis on working on the passing game. Especially because I know coming into this game we were going to be a run heavy team and we were dominating in time of possession and it was working. But you know, defenses are going to scheme to try to take that element of our game away. So you've got to have a good passing attack too. No, we spent a 4th overall pick on a playmaker and you're not even utilizing him. He's got to be a focal point of this offense if you're going to, you know, give up that, if you're going to draft a guy that high, because at this point, it's like, well, just give us Joe Alt and we can keep running the damn ball and Kyler can have a lot of time in the pocket to throw.
Yeah, I think it's obviously Pensing came from Cleveland, and back there he had a running back in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt that, you know, you can play smash mouth football. Now, was his quarterback situation in the wide receiver room what he had here? Probably not. I can't think that Marv and Trey McBride are worse than what Pensing had in Cleveland. It's always going to be an offense that's going to run the ball. It's going to want to pound you in the face, and then once you have and once you finally suck up that defender, pause again, and bring him into the box, that's when they're going to get the matchup. That's when you're going to get Trey McBride across, you know, the middle, 15 yards, you know, a nice post route. That's where you're going to get Marv one-on-one on the outside because the safety cheats and bites on the play action. You know, James Conner didn't have his best game. He looked really good in the first half, and then later through play calling and kind of predictability, he wasn't as effective. But as a team, the Cardinals still had five yards per carry. That's good in the NFL. That's what you need to do. Some of it's inflated because Kyler's rushing attempts, or his scrambling. But the play calling was 50-50 in running the ball to passing the ball. That 50% of passing the ball has to be efficient. And I know the Bills, Matt Milano was out, and you're running too high. The Bills led the league in week 1 in cover 2 snaps. So that's what they leave you. They leave you the middle of the field. They're going to let you have 5 yards in the middle all day. You're not going to beat them deep. And if that's part of what makes Trey McBride good last year and what Marv's kind of whole thing is, then it's not going to happen. And we didn't see it. You saw Michael Wilson have 1 catch and the touchdown grab. You saw Marvin Harrison get 1 catch in the drop. It's like outside of Trey McBride, James Conner was the next best wide receiver on this team for a guy who is not known to catch the ball or be a good receiving back.
Real quick, Nick L asks, how bad is the Williams injury? Well, they announced that he is going to go on IR, and I heard somewhere he's going to have surgery. So it's not good is basically what we've taken away, but they haven't given us a timetable yet, which sucks.
My friends, I'm going to introduce a new segment called It Can Always Be Worse. I am going to talk to you about a team out east, the Carolina Panthers. There's this Instagram page I follow called Panthers Nation. It's one of the worst pages I've ever. It's such a homer. It's like absolute homer shit. And, you know, going into the game against New Orleans, they were talking so much shit. They were like, this is going to be the game where we prove all the haters wrong. This is a good team. You know, we finally have an O-line. Then, bam, beaten 47-10. Now, I'm gonna read to you some comments from after the game. I'm going to keep the people who say them anonymous, you know, so I don't want to, you know, rag on them. But and one of these comments says, Panthers need to be at Cam Newton's front door begging him to carry the franchise again.
Oh, no.
If we get the number 1 pick, we take Travis Hunter or Will Campbell, nobody in between. He's not our franchise quarterback. Tank for Shador.
Yikes.
Oh God.
Worst number 1 draft pick in history. I don't know what to say. Is Bryce R misspelled franchise quarterback? Is this team worse than last year? Is wrong R, defense the worst in the league?
The Panthers football's got everyone so fucked up they can't even spell.
It's Andy's time again. They need to put the short king out and the ginger in. Jack
Andy
Plummer.
Dalton?
Jack Plummer, please save us.
Oh no. That's how you know
Poor
they're down
Panthers.
tremendous.
It can always be worse.
Exactly. And you want to before I keep going, shout out Loto Capone. I see you in the chat. What are you sipping on? I have me a Coors. What are you guys sipping on?
Agua.
I
I'm
also
not, I'm
have
not
a
drinking.
Coors Light.
I'm not drinking anything until we win a fucking game, man.
Oh, prepare to be sober, my boy.
I am gonna be sober.
No, but yeah, you're right. It could be a lot worse, and it's funny because going back to quarterback play, it was tank for Caleb Williams. What did Caleb Williams do this week? Not even break over 100 yards passing. Dan Bickley wanted us to get Deshaun Watson. He fucking sucks. So all of the other options that fans, in quotes, wanted us to get, they suck. So I think we're in an okay position. Play calling needs to be better. The passing game needs to improve. And that's just not on Petzing. We haven't seen the big shots downfield with Kyler. I don't know if that was just the game plan this week, was to just kind of take those little chunk plays and dominate time of possession and just, worry about the first down versus getting the big play downfield, which the Bills did a good job of eliminating the big play downfield. They had the 2 high safeties all game. So hopefully this week we see something more dynamic out of this offense.
Yeah, I think we will. I mean, we are going to be in a controlled setting, in a dome for the next few weeks. And, say what you will about dome teams, they're soft, whatever. If we are in those conditions and we don't have to worry about fucking high gusts of wind, I think we're in a better spot. I think this offense can actually start to flow.
And, I was listening to somebody, I forgot who. I watch a lot of Cardinals content, podcasts, things like that. Someone said, it wasn't an issue for Josh Allen. He was making his throws, but it's like, well, he's used to playing in that kind of climate. So for what it's worth, that could be an excuse too. But Nick says, who's worse, Bryce Young or Daniel Jones?
Bryce.
I think it's Daniel Jones because of the cost.
It's Bryce.
Like, they both suck. They're both terrible.
But
one of them is getting paid $40 million.
Bryce is too small.
But Bryce also cost his team God knows how many first-round picks and their future. The Giants weren't going to have a future regardless.
See, this is why you don't trust Alabama quarterbacks. They never pan out under the Nick in the Nick Saban area. They don't. Who was the last good Alabama quarterback to make it in the league?
Tua,
Jalen Hurts.
debatably. I'm not going to say Jalen. I'm not saying that.
Has Tua won a playoff game?
No, but
it's too
you and I. But you and I both know that's not a good metric for it.
They have not had good.
If we're using playoff games as a metric, I'm afraid to say our quarterback sucks by your metric too.
Yeah, but Oklahoma has better luck with quarterbacks than Alabama has in recent years.
Yeah.
One of them's
and don't say Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts went to Oklahoma too.
I wasn't going to say him regardless.
I know, but people like to throw, well, Jalen Hurts, yeah. He transferred. Tua took his spot. But anyways, we got to talk about the defensive side of the ball. There's a lot to fucking digest with this goddamn loss.
Wasn't it like
it's so frustrating?
It was like a 16% win rate. I've never seen a percentage that low.
12% was the number.
Jesus Christ.
Both their tackles were a perfect 100% on pass block reps yesterday or Sunday.
Can we trade for one of them?
Boy, I wish. Shout out, speaking of pass block win rate, shout out to Will Hernandez. Big 23 of 23 in pass pro this past week. 100%. Get the refrigerator an extension, Monty. I beg.
We
Man,
love the Mexican Will Hernandez. Paris Johnson played a good game too.
Paris Johnson was top 20 as well. He has 92% in pass block win rate.
yeah, there is
Yeah.
a specific person you can blame for most of our O line troubles, and it's not Paris Johnson, and it sure as shit is not Will Hernandez.
That's a good point. Even across the line, Evan Brown, who is probably the fifth starter that if you had to rank all of them going into Sunday, that like if you had to pick one offensive lineman who was going to hurt us before Jonah got hurt, you're probably going to go Evan Brown. He's left guard. The left guard was a battle in training camp with three guys who didn't really impress anybody. Evan Brown came out and had a good solid game. Froholt, he got his extension, and I like the Viking. He's a mean guy when you pull. I don't want to be in front of Herja Froholt ever.
Yeah, I know, and I'm so glad that we finally found a center because I feel like that's just been an absentee position for us since AQ Shipley.
Yeah.
But back to the defense. We have no pass rush. The only time we were successful at stopping the run was when our safeties blitzed. Zaven Collins was robbed of a sack, I felt. And that's what thing that sucks too. I don't like to get into the reffing. Obviously, the end of the game, that was pass interference. I didn't get called. But we were gifted a bogus roughing the passer call at the beginning. And then same thing, kind of tit for tat. They called roughing the passer against Josh Allen, or I'm sorry, against Zaven Collins, robbing him of the sack. Poor Dennis Gardeck. He's got the motor and he's trying, and you see him, but it's just not there. Max Melton had some good plays on special teams. Unfortunately, he's in concussion protocol. Mac Wilson actually played a really good game. I like what I saw out of Mac Wilson.
I agree with that. I was impressed with how he popped on both the grading after as well as watching some of the game before I was disgusted with it on all 22 and turned it off.
Nick L says, if we can't get any QB pressure against the Rams and their banged up O-line, we're in deep trouble. And I agree, because like I said in the beginning, they're out 3 offensive linemen. Matthew Stafford is not a mobile quarterback, so he's going to stand in the pocket and throw. And if we can't get to him,
I will say that is
ugly.
I will say that is the one kind of nice thing. And I don't remember who said it, maybe Carl Orgard, maybe Darren Urban, but they said, for as well as they played and they had their moments, obviously, kind of in the second half, just let Josh Allen. There's not a lot of Josh Allens in the NFL. So You're not going to play Josh Allen every week. You don't have to have a QB spy on Matthew Stafford this week at home.
Should I start Justin Herbert or Josh Allen this weekend?
Who do the Chargers play this week? Oh, they're playing the Panthers.
Oh, Justin Herbert, come on.
I think so. I don't like Josh. I mean, Josh Allen always puts up numbers against the Dolphins.
But it's also a Thursday night game.
Also Thursday night.
And he did kind of have a little bit of a hand thing going. So I don't know if that's going to affect him in any kind of way. They did tape it up during the game.
And the Chargers are staying on the east side of the country, so there is no West Coast team traveling east jinx to worry about. And it's also the Panthers, so maybe a little Herbie love this week.
So given the fact that everybody's crying about Marv getting targets, do you think we're going to try to force feed him the ball or get him more involved?
I hope we don't. I hope we just go out there and do whatever the hell we were going to do last week, but didn't execute on.
I would like to see something quick early. I know Marv played we only had one home preseason game. So we saw Marv for 3 whole snaps, and Toon never looked his way, or Ritter. I think it was Ritter who started that game. Didn't look his way, which the whole building was just kind of on the edge of their seat, ready for Marv to get a catch. So it would be nice to see them Cliff Kingsbury it and just scheme him something, even if it's a bubble screen on first down for a yard or 2 yards. Just kind of help settle Marv down.
Yeah, I don't want to see us forced feed Marv because that's just a recipe for getting picked off. But we were advertised that this is an NFL ready guy, and we have yet to see it. And if you don't get him involved in some kind of way, even if he's got like 50 yards at the end of the game Sunday, that's something, and I can live with that. But I think if we don't get him involved, you're gonna lose your momentum as far as your fans go. Everybody's already kind of course, jumping the gun, but saying that Petzing ain't it as far as a play call, or even JG's not it as a head coach. People are gonna start putting you on a hot seat, which is dumb, but
I would expect
it's
them
impatient
to.
fans.
Yeah, there's no wait anymore in the NFL. You see it with quarterbacks from organizations. I think next week you should see the defense make a valiant effort to have more pressure up the middle. I think they're going to try and get after the whole right side of the offensive line is hurt. They're going to start a center, a rookie at center. Maybe it's a good day for LJ Collier to show up. I know last week or a couple weeks ago he talked about how the defensive line room, they know what's expected of them, and they've heard people talk about him, and he played 22 snaps. He played 30% last week. I would like to see maybe a little more from Ray Lopez as well, or Roy Lopez. I know, was Roy Lopez the one who had the strip sack on Josh Allen?
I believe so.
Yes.
So not all bad. I think Justin Jones recovered it, so it's nice to see one of the guys Monty signed to bring in play, but you don't have anyone on the outsides. And I know you already talked about the 12% pass rush win rate, and it was last in the league, one of the lowest numbers kind of ever. But we lost our 2 best guys at getting to the quarterback before the season even started. You lose BJ Ojari, you lose Demarcus Robinson, who looked like an absolute
Darius Robinson.
Oh, my bad. That's the Rams receiver. Wrong Robinson. Wrong D-Rob. But he looked as advertised, and to lose him for 6 weeks, I think is how long he'll be gone. You're already light in the you're already light in the room at getting to the quarterback, and you lose 2 guys who probably were 1 and 2. It sucks. And I know people have been posting that clip of JG saying like, "Oh no, I'm comfortable with the guys we have," and then he immediately loses the 2 guys. He probably, hindsight 2020, he probably doesn't feel too great right now about Dennis Gardeck, and although he played a good game, Zaven being the 2 starting pass rushers. But yeah, you got to get more from the defensive line. Ball out. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the effort was there. It's just we couldn't get home. Like, we were applying pressure. It's Josh Allen being Josh Allen. Owen Pepo learned how to wrap up, for the love of fucking God, because that would have been a huge play. And that's the thing. It's like, shit, I lost my AirPod. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. That's the thing. It's like, all we needed to win that game was maybe a couple stops. Just a couple stops, and we could have been talking about a dub right now. But we just couldn't get it done. We couldn't. I'm just frustrated, and I can't find my other AirPod.
I think bad teams find a way to lose games. You had the ball, 2-minute drill, 3 timeouts. We don't come away with the win.
And that's the thing. It's like, we had time. There was. I don't know why we were playing this panicky, hurry up offense. If we just settled in, we would have been okay. I feel like that longer pass to Dortch at the end Maybe Kyler could have kept it and scrambled the 7 yards we needed or something. But, hopefully they watch tape and just learn about situational awareness.
Hopefully the defense watches how to wrap up 101 all week.
And not commit pass
they
interference
look
looking
like
at
me.
you, Sean Murphy button.
They look
Bunting.
like me. They look like me in college. They're not wrapping up.
Oh my.
Ew.
I'm kidding.
Nick L says Connor going off for 115 rushing yards, 40 yards receiving, book it. I hope so. And then Loto Capone says already feels like a must win on Sunday. I don't like saying that in week 2 that it's a must win. But you're already digging your if playoffs is something that you think that we can be in contention for, and you've already going 0-2, 0-3 possibly because you're playing the Lions next. It's not a fun hole to dig yourself out of. Personally, I think that we're more committed to the rebuild right now rather than thinking about us being a playoff team. Because everybody's saying like, well, let's our pass rush sucks. Let's go get Hassan Reddick, but we're not a Hassan Reddick away from competing. I said that we're going to be a wild card team, but I didn't say we're going to make it out a wild card weekend.
Yeah, no, I think this is a team that surprises, does well enough to make it to the wild card, and goes into next season. And everybody says if this team has a good enough draft and a good enough free agency, this is a team that could be a contender.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think to say week 2 is a must win is a little early. This team doesn't have much expectations. I know the fans are thinking 7-8, maybe a wild card. This we're not even one full year of Kyler in Pensing's offense. This was game 9. You have growing pains. The offensive line at right tackle is now a big barrier. The defense is all young. I mean, there was 5 or 6 new starters week 1, just from last year to this year. You have to be able to talk and count on the guy next to you, and playing 40 snaps is not going to. I don't trust the guy behind me yet. Now maybe in 5 weeks the defense looks a little bit better, and maybe it's not a bottom 5 defense, maybe it's a bottom 10 defense. The offense is going to carry them as much as Kelvin Beachum will try his darndest to not let the offense carry us. But I think the expectations should be pump the brakes just a little bit. We, like you said, we have 3 games at home. The next 3 games are at home. You get to sleep in your own bed. You have to wake up early and get on the bus.
Yeah.
That's where you can start building. Like Low Tone said there. How many snaps till Kyler and Marv are locked in? He's got 3 weeks now at home in his own bed. Get to go to his own office and build that repertoire with Kyler.
Yeah, it just sucks that we haven't had a good track record at home, especially against the Rams. Even the best of Cardinals teams that I've watched, for some reason, I always wind up at Rams games. We've always.
So you're the reason we lose all those.
Yes. No, but first, Sean McVay just has our number. He can turn shit into fucking gold when it comes to his players and beating the Cardinals. So I'm not very confident going into this week. I just want us to keep it close, and I just want us to give Marv some meaningful reps, get him a catch or 2, bolster his confidence a little bit so everybody can, calm down. But I don't have a lot of confidence in us winning this game. I even, we did pick'ems and predictions last week, and I said we're going to lose this game.
Well, speaking of pick'ems, should we do our pick'ems for the week?
Yes, but first, I would like to give out the inaugural 2024 season Big Dick Player of the Game.
It's me.
Is it Kelvin Beachum?
Fuck no.
Oh.
And to be honest, I really didn't think about who was a big day player of the game.
I mean, was it?
Oops.
You think Dallas maybe?
I think so. If this was a committee voting.
Yes. 2-1. No, we'll say I'll say it's unanimous. Yeah, let's give it to DJ Dallas because this fucking kickoff rule is gonna plague a lot. Like, it happened to work for us and against us, but it was cool just to see a
Be the
kickoff
first,
return for
yeah.
a touchdown. Be the first in this new era of football. And DJ Dallas is kind of a thick dude, very like Eddie Lacy vibes. So good for the chunky king. You are my big dick player of the game.
Guys, I've got bad news. Our tickets are the cheapest tickets in the league this week. We're cheaper than the Panthers.
How much are our tickets?
$20.
Yeah, but that's like 90 after fees, so we're good. Yeah, no, the dynamic kickoff, real quick, that was interesting to see. The momentum of the Cardinals going down the field and the nice touchdown drive, and then immediately on the kickoff, the dynamic kickoff, the Bills are starting on like with a 45, 40.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's
40.
going to affect games, and you saw it. We were basically dead in the water. The game was over, and then immediately DJ Dallas silences
so
a lot
fucking
of
back.
critics. A lot of people were mad that they signed him and gave him that deal and why he made it on the 53. So it was nice to see DJ show exactly why he's on the roster and brought us right back into the game.
But guys, we could have had Michael Carter, the guy that nobody's picked up.
The guy that's still on our practice squad?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, who is that? Do my eyes deceive me? Who's all the way downfield blocking on the kick return? Oh my goodness, that's Amari DiMercado. Wow, another
Speaking of
running
Amari
back.
DiMercado, he had some nice blocks. That like one design Kyler run where he scrambled or not scrambled, but he took the ball and ran it. Forgot how he got a really nice gain, and I noticed that DiMercado was out there was his lead blocker. So that's why you keep a guy like that around.
God, that Kyler bootleg we're going to see this week is going to hit like crack.
Oh, it better. I've been waiting 4 years for it.
Yes.
Some Steve Bono shit.
All right, Will, let's do this.
All right, your pick'ems for the week starting tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Phoenix time. We got Buffalo at Miami.
I'm going to go Buffalo just so I can feel vindicated.
Give me the Dolphins. Put me in handcuffs, pull me out of my car. Give me the Dolphins. The weather's not cold yet. They'll be okay.
I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be Buffalo. I mean, they came out and they looked pretty goddamn convincing this week. I mean, I think that Miami did not live up to expectations, and I am excited to see what felony they get Tyreek Hill on this week.
Nick L also says Dolphins.
All right. After that, we have starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, 11. No, that's not good. Math. 10 a.m. Arizona time. New Orleans at Dallas.
Ooh. So this is going to be interesting because New Orleans looked like a fucking juggernaut. Derek Carr looked like fucking Tom Brady. But now they're playing a real defense. So, but I also hate the Cowboys. So do I want to pick the Cowboys? You know what? I'm going to say the Saints. Fuck it.
Colby.
I'm going to take the Cowboys. Weed 'em.
Boo! Nick L says Saints.
Hey, Jackie. Jackie,
What?
guess what?
What?
When the Saints go marching in, it's going to be the Saints, baby.
Shout out Jamal Williams.
All right. Tampa at Detroit. That'll be a fun game.
That will be a fun game. I love Baker Mayfield right now, so I'm going to say the Bucks.
Man, there are some good 10 o'clock games. Oh, my.
You're going to like the next one, too.
Give me in the dome. You know what? Let Baker cook. Let him bake, dare I say. Give me the Buccaneers.
3 for 3. Let's make it a sweep. Buccaneers.
All right. And then Nick L says Lions.
After that, we have Indy at Green Bay. This will be a fun one.
This is going to be a fun one.
Sorry, it would have been a lot more fun if not for fucking Jordan Love getting injured.
To say Malik Willis, is he going to prove to himself that he was worth
No.
a fucking second round pick? No.
God, no.
Give me the Colts.
I'm also taking the Colts.
You're just an Anthony Richards stan.
I am. He is one of my favorite Gator quarterbacks to ever have a very short stint in the swamp.
Did you know that he's only started 17 games as a quarterback? Period.
Yes.
That's great. I love him.
Nick says Colts.
Yeah, give me Indy. After that, we got New York Jets versus Tennessee. Who do you have?
Ugh.
Yikes.
New York looked fucking flaccid in their first game, man. They looked
all
terrible.
The drugs Aaron Rodgers doing.
They had that one drive with Brees Hall and the touchdown that capped it off, and then after that
But that wasn't Rodgers. That was Tyrod.
Yeah.
Give me the Titans. Give me Wonder Bread Will Levis.
This sucks just to have to even pick a winner. You know, I think the Jets bounce back. Give me the Jets.
Nick says Titans. He says he hates Rodgers.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Jets. I do not. As much as I want to be the spoiler and pick Tennessee, I just cannot see them beating this Jets defense. It's pretty damn good. So Jackie. Okay, after that we have San Fran at Minnesota. This could actually be kind of interesting. Who do you got?
I don't know. I gotta say it's the Niners. I also want to give a special shout out to Jake Moody for bringing me back from the dead and pulling off the fucking win for my fantasy team. Because I went into Monday Night Football only winning by 3 points. My opponent had Brees Hall. I had my kicker. And I told my brother-in-law, I said, unless Brees Hall gets the shits and does not play, and my kicker just goes nuclear, I'm cooked. I told you that, Colby, that I was cooked. Mm-hmm. And, I'm texting him. He's going to bed. And I said, all right, good night. And then I just checked my phone to look at my fantasy team to see how bad I lost. And to my surprise, Jake Moody has a fucking career game. 26 points, and I pulled out the win.
That's what dreams are made of. The week one champion.
Week one champion.
I got fucking stomped. I got too cute. I started Jordan Love at quarterback this week.
Oof.
I had Josh Allen right on my bench. I was like, you know what? I think we'll do good enough. I think we'll make them look foolish. Oh God! Do you guys want to hear who was on my bench? I had Josh Allen on my bench. I had James Conner on my bench. I had Jerome Ford on my bench, and I had DJ Moore on my bench.
Who did you start at running back?
Chuba Hubbard.
Oh no! Well,
my brother in Christ.
They got a new O-line. I thought they'd be better. And I started Curtis Samuel because I was like, our defense is Swiss cheese. He's gonna rack up a lot of points.
Oh my! Give me the San Francisco 49ers.
Nick also says the 49ers.
With or without Christian McCaffrey. But for my fantasy football team, please be with Christian McCaffrey.
All right, so we need to get back on track. Seattle at New England. Ugh.
Well, we didn't expect fucking New England to beat the Bengals, so give me New England.
We were 3 for 3 on San Fran against Minnie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So New England over. Wow. Okay. Colby.
I'm taking the Seahawks. That defense is scary.
I am also taking the Seahawks. I do not trust New England. I think that the Bengals are overdue for a bad year. I think Burrow should have taken care of his hand while he could. Sorry to rip on your boyfriend, Jackie, but that's just the plain cold truth.
Leave Daddy Burr alone.
You can find 20 men that look like him in Hickory, North Carolina.
I'm on my way. Sorry, Colby.
Is he overrated? Is it time to start the conversation?
Oh my God.
It's been that time. It's been
No
that time.
No Joe Mixon. No, who is it? Tyler Boyd left. T. Higgins is on a franchise tag. Jamar Chase once turned down a big contract.
You know what that means, right?
Shut up.
He's going to be a Cardinal.
Is he just want to be Eminem Brock Purdy? Is he a system boy?
I want everybody to know our date nights consist of going to the local dive, getting a tall beer, eating chicken wings, and me and him yelling at each other about whether Joe Burrow is a good quarterback.
Who's won?
Me, always.
Boo. After that, we have possibly the worst game of the season, and I don't say that lightly. We have New York at Washington.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a divisional game.
I'm going to take the Commanders.
The hater in me wants to say the Giants because I don't want to pick a Cliff Kingsbury team. But Daniel Jones sucks. This ends in a tie, like 3-3.
Back-to-back weeks with a tie selected. I am truly getting the Redbird Redzone podcast experience.
You know what? I'm going to stand 10 toes on it. I'm going to say it's a tie. It's a tie. Nick says Washington. I'm going to say it's a tie.
La, 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 la. Go, New York! Go, New York! Go! It's going to be the Giants, baby! Anyway, after that, we got the Chargers versus the Panthers. Who do you have?
Chargers and Panthers?
Yeah.
Chargers.
I think the Chargers are going to beat the Pee Wee team.
We're 3 for 3 then. Cleveland versus Jacksonville.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember when
I'm going to say the Jags.
Remember when I said there were some good 10 a.m. games? There are also some not good 10 a.m. games. I think it's the Jags.
I think we're 3 for 3 on that. Deshaun looks terrible. Also, I don't think there's any good Asian parlors out in Jacksonville, so I don't think he's going to have a good week regardless.
Womp womp.
All right. After that, we have Vegas versus the Ravens. Who do you have?
Ravens.
It's Raven time, motherfuckers. After that, we got Pittsburgh at Denver. Ugh, terrible game.
Oh, is this the Russell Wilson revenge game?
It would have been. Is the old man even going to play?
Who even started?
Justin Fields.
But they had no offensive. They had no like T.J. Watt. That's the Steelers right now. Just T.J. Watt and a bunch of fucking Uber drivers.
Every fucking year, I see so many people say this is the year the Steelers make it happen, and I've never understood it. I was baffled at people who were saying, well, this could be a toss-up between Fields and Wilson. And I actually see Wilson play, and it's like, no, I actually get it now. I get why it's a toss-up. I get why this is even a debate. This is a frustrating team. I don't like this game, period. I think this game should be played at Gitmo and nowhere else. I think anywhere else it's capital punishment.
Give me the Steelers solely based off of T.J. Watt plays for them.
We are going to see a score that has not been achieved since 1928.
I mean, this could end in a tie too, for all we fucking know. Nick L says Denver. I still see your chats, Nick.
Give me the Steelers. The defense is just too good.
I'm not only going to say Steelers. I'm going to give you an exact score: 10-3.
Yeah, something
The
stupid,
defensive
and Mike
touchdown.
Tomlin's gonna somehow lead this garbage ass team to the playoffs.
Neither offense scores a touchdown. 10-3 the final.
Yeah, it's a Nick Watt, not Nick Watt, T.J. Watt strip sack, leading to a fumble near the end zone. Oh God, this will give me a better taste in the mouth.
Pause.
I
Shut
can
up.
do that for you too. Pause.
Cincinnati at Kansas City.
Give me fucking the Bengals.
Oh
Give
my
me
God.
Joe Burrow going for 400 yards passing.
She a fan. She a fan.
Shut up.
Oh my. It's gonna be the Chiefs.
Where is it at? Is it in Arrowhead?
It's in
Arrowhead.
It's in Arrowhead.
It's in
Play the line.
Burrowhead. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, we knew that line was coming.
Oh, we know about Burrowhead.
No, so Colby was in Kansas City for a work trip, and he sends me pictures of Arrowhead Stadium. I'm like, oh, cool, you passed by Burrowhead.
Disappointed. I am taking the Chiefs. They are the best team in the league. They have unreal defense now for whatever reason. Very cool. Doesn't matter if Mahomes has wide receivers. He now has a defense that only gives up 20 points a game, if that.
And the Bills gifted them Xavier Worthy.
Jesus.
And Patrick Mahomes. It really be your own people.
It do. Christ almighty.
I hope you guys are ready for if the Bengals pull it off. I'm going to be obnoxious.
You already are obnoxious.
Well, duh, but like, can you imagine times 10? I haven't even lived up to my full potential.
Christ. Yeah, I've got Kansas City. I mean, I think it's going to be 27-6 Kansas City. All right. This is a weird fucking Sunday night game. We have Chicago at Houston.
It would have been cool if Caleb Williams lived up to his expectations, but all he cares about is getting his little manicures and, I don't know, just give me the Texans.
I think I am taking the Texans as well.
I think Caleb Williams comes out and has a much better game, and I think Chicago wins.
Oh, Nick also thinks the Bears are going to win.
I think I just have a feeling in my gut that it's going to be a trap game, that this is going to be a game where Houston comes in far too cocky and they get surprised.
Interesting. I like the take. I like the vision. I like where you're going with this, but I feel like Houston's just too stacked right now.
After that Monday Night Football, we have Atlanta at Philly. Ugh, terrible.
I want this to be a get-right game for Kirk Cousins because I like Kirk Cousins. And for fantasy purposes, I hope Drake London does good. But Philly still looks decent, so give me the Eagles.
Get ready to learn Mike Penix, buddy.
Yeah, there's not enough Coles cash to convince me to go the other way. It is going to be the Eagles scoring on a defense in Brazil like they could at ease. I think unless a new play caller shows up for Atlanta that actually, can help Kirk Cousins,
Your
not
mic's
just
coming in
stand
and
him.
out.
Oh no! Give me the Eagles then. We'll cut it short.
I think it's the Eagles. I don't like them at all. I think they play very boring and pedestrian football. But I also just think that Atlanta, their hype train has been completely overplayed. I think that people who have seen them as this just decisive winner of the NFC South are just completely out of their minds. I don't get what people see in this team. I'm going to say Philly.
No, Nick says this is going to be a tie. That's very ballsy of you. I like it.
And all of that leads us to 4:05 p.m. Eastern, 1:05 Phoenix time. Your Arizona Cardinals versus the Hollywood, the fucking freaky ass whatever. LA Rams. Who do you have?
I got to do it because I already said it last week. I think it's going to be the Rams. I think we lose something like, I'll say like 26-17.
I've also got the Rams. I think they win by. I would think they win by 8. Give me. I can't do math on the spot like that. 25-17.
It's an awful score. I'm going to keep it simple. I think that the Rams win 24-14. I think they get a late touchdown to put it out of reach.
Nick L says Prater wins on a last-second field goal. Cards win 27-24. I really hope you're right. I anticipate outside of this game because it's a divisional game, so I feel like I think we're gonna be in a lot of high-scoring games if our offense just clicks for a full 90 minutes versus like a half. I just don't feel like it's gonna happen this week.
Jackie, what'd you have your score again?
I said 26-17.
Jesus, you guys have basically the same score. The hell?
Nick says I can't root against my own team. Listen, I think I picked us to win like every game last year, and of course we didn't go 17-0. But just the Rams and Sean McVay have always had our number for better or for worse. Even shitty Rams teams have found a way to beat good Cardinals teams. But I think we'll split with them. I think maybe towards the end of the year once we have some things figured out.
Jackie, I will pay you not to go to this game.
I'm not going to this game.
Sweet.
I will be
I don't even have
at the
to pay you.
Commanders game week 4.
Okay. That I can live with.
Yes.
Cliff downfall party. Let's go.
Yes, I'm going to boo the shit out of Cliff. As handsome as he is.
All right. You guys want to close out here?
Yes, I have to pee so fucking bad.
All right. This has been another spectacular episode of the Redbird Redzone. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing.
My name is Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is with 2 O's.
And my name is Colby. Thank you guys for having me. It was a blast. It was my first time doing one of these, so I appreciate it. You can find me on the Bird app on X at FromTheNestAZ.
Also in the description box, so check that out.
And until then, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye and stream.